Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakadash, Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akin, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a quick sit-down lesson of Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17 to verse 21. And that's going to be the title of the sit-down lesson, so hopefully this sit-down lesson is edifying. And the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahushua. Those are their true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Lashman Kadashlu tongue. And this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. It reads, it says, Son of man, right? The Israelite, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Right, so the sons of men, which is the Heavenly Father's, the Heavenly Father's men, the Israelite man, which is he's the sons of the true living power, the Prince of Power, Yasharala, Prince of Power, the Israelite man. So it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Just like the Heavenly Father has made his servants and prophets and men in ancient times, watchmen, in those ancient times. Now he said once again in modern times, just like Ezekiel was a watchman, our great forefather Ezekiel during his times. So we're definitely living in the modern days of Ezekiel in these modern day times. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words at my mouth and get a warning from me. Right, so the servants and prophets of the Heavenly Father, they had to heed to that warning from the Heavenly Father, how to warn the Israelites, telling them to return back into the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, as being their chosen people, the sons and daughters of the true power, and especially particularly the Israelite man, the sons of the Most High, the Israelite man. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Right, so the servants and prophets are a watchman unto the house of Israel, the Israelites. Therefore hear the words at my mouth and get a warning from me. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, as thou hast not given him warning, nor to speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood I will quiet thy hand. Right, so the Heavenly Father has ordered the Israelite man to speak the words of prophecies unto the children of Israel, especially particularly the Israelite man, and tell them to return back into the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and turn from his evil wicked ways, to the best of their ability. If not, whether they're hearing for burial, so they can continue to get the blood off their hands, the servants and prophets, which the Heavenly Father has sent and warned the Israelites to turn from their evil wicked ways. It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor to speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood I will quiet thy hand. Ezekiel 3, verse 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Right, so the Israelites, the servants and prophets, continue to tell the Israelite man, return back to your heritage, your culture, your customs, your language, and turn back into the righteous path and righteous ways inside the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, turn from your evil wicked ways. Because, the Heavenly Father, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, he's a merciful power. So, he chastised those who he loved are his people, the Israelites, for us to return back unto him. It says that, yet if thou warn the wicked, he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Right, so the Israelite man take heed to the warnings from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, that potentially save his soul and his household and the ones that pertain unto. That's a positive, 100% positive thing. I mean, very positive way to choose, If not, whether they hear or they forbear. Ezekiel 3, verse 20, it says, and again, when the righteous man does turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, I will lay a stumbling block before him. He shall die, because thou hast not given him that warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which have been done shall not be remembered, but his blood I will quiet thy hand. Right, so if the Israelite man, as being the servants of prophets, Heavenly Father Yahweh, that's continuing in the path of righteousness, but not consistently warning the Israelites, hey, his righteousness is not going to be remembered. And the Heavenly Father is going to lay a stomach block on him, and his blood is going to appear upon his hand. And I'm going to quiet thy hand, So, that's why we go out there to teach on the highways and heads to chief lesson concourse or do sit down lessons, which I'm doing right now as a prime example, and other elders and apostles were doing this world too. Now so more than ever, So we continue to get the blood off our hands to warn the Israelite man, whether they hear or they forbear, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 21. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he does not sin, he shall surely live, because it's warned, also thou hast lived thy soul. Right, so is the Israelite man take heed to the words of the servants and prophets, which the Heavenly Father has truly sent from an ancient times or into modern times. So if they take heed to the words of the Heavenly Father Yahweh, they potentially save thy soul. That's a positive thing. If not, whether they hear for beer. So with that, hopefully this quick sit down lesson was edifying of Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17 to verse 21. That was the title of the sit down lesson. So hopefully this was edifying. And with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kakadash, Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim Wa'akwa, and I say Shalom. And once again, the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his unbegotten Son, Ba'Hashem, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Those are their true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Lashwan Kadash tongue. And I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim Wa'akwa once more. Till next time, I will say Shalom.